The fight for the souls of our children is real. I've been a Christian my whole life, but I have never in my life been in such a satanic warfare, spiritual warfare that I have felt for the past 2 years on the board.
Those comments came this past weekend from Flagler School Board member Jill Woolbright, who was speaking at New Way Church in Palm Coast. She went on to say,
"We need a breakthrough. We have not had a conservative, God-fearing majority on our board, and we don't have it in the district office either. 3 seats are up for election. The 2 seats that are not up for election are far, far left progressives. They're for everything we're against."
At a recent school board meeting, board member Cheryl Massaro fired back.
I have to release my satanic vibes. At least that's what I've been told to have. And that's because of this ugly election process that's been going on throughout our county. And I guess the best term to use here would be fake news. And I do not, and I will not support any involvement of the church and the school system and education. It does not belong there.
School board member Colleen Conklin also responded to Woolbright's controversial comments.
Mrs. Mazzaro, apparently you and I are of the same satanic cult, so I would associate myself with your comments, and it's disappointing that at the beginning of the school year we have to start off in that way. I am a woman of great faith, but I recognize that we represent all children, regardless of what faith they are or what faith their families are. And shame on anyone for doing and saying the things that have been said. It is disgusting and despicable.
Conklin added she's looking forward to the end of the election, regardless of the outcome, so they can focus on what's important, educating children. This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, US 1 St. Augustine, here to wow you.
A 55 and older community that's coming to Palm Coast will have a second entrance. Ryan's Landing will have an entrance on the south side of the nearly 30-acre proposed development. Palm Coast Mayor David Alphen thanks city staff for working to resolve the issue.
I especially appreciate the collaboration with the property owner and developer to look for solutions that do in fact make the community safer. So I think that's the right way to smartly manage the growth that we are experiencing.
The developer also worked with Flagler Schools to move a bus stop away from the development's entrance due to safety concerns. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Amy Cherry.
With many not making enough money in Palm Coast to make ends meet, City Council is being urged to consider expanding social services.
Senior planner Jose Papa of the city's Community Development Department told City Council that the results from the 2020 American Community Survey show that the city needs to review the social service needs of low-income households.
We, of course, have to consult with our public service needs providers. That would mean the Family Life Center or Flagler Cares or even the Volusia Flagler Homeless Coalition. So we reach out to them and have conversation with them to just help us with some of the findings and some of the things that they deal with on a day-to-day basis.
Papa says the use of community development block grant funds can help agencies with the costs for social services.
With these conversations, it's just important to identify where those opportunities might arise where we might be able to use that limited amount of CDBG funds to assist those providers. As part of the CDBG program, we're limited to using 15% of our annual allocation for public service needs.
In 2023, the city's CDBG grant allocation for public services that tie into social services is $75,000. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Rich Petchke.
Palmetto berries on public lands in Flagler County may be tempting to pick, but it's against the law.
It's palmetto berry season, which means it's the time of the year when we see people on the side of the roadways and in the parks picking the berries. Palmetto berry harvesting activities actually reduce the amount of food available for wildlife and can create unwanted trails and debris on public lands. However, Mike Lagasse, Flagler County Public Lands and Natural Resource Manager, says there is an exception.
Picking palmetto berries, there's a permit process through the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. That permit applies to specific properties. The county doesn't authorize the picking of palmetto berries on our properties, but if folks know a private landowner and they get permission in this permit, they can go pick palmetto berries.
A Flagler County ordinance also prohibits the removal of soil, rocks, sand, stones, trees, shrubs, plants, or wood materials. Violators can expect to pay a penalty of up to $500. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Karen Johnson.
There are those in Flagler County who said that Joe Rizzo would talk to anybody.
Carla Klein is one of those. Upon reflecting on Rizzo's passing, she said, quote, "I've had more meetings with Joe Rizzo than any other person in my entire life," end quote. Flagler Live wrote that Klein was a friend and sometimes a colleague and a Flagler native, along with Rizzo. Wife Teresa Rizzo now focuses the Flagler Ed Foundation on literacy.
It's a big hot topic right now. Being a previous literacy director in the state of Florida, that is a passion and a heart of mine. It was something Joe and I talked about all the time. He knew how important it was to kids.
Teresa Rizzo said that State Representative Paul Renner said recently that if the state can solve its literacy problem, it can solve several other problems too. Listen to Lifeline on WNZF on Saturday mornings at 9 and anytime on the Flagler radio app. Tomorrow, how Joe and Joe got to be friends. From the WNZF newsroom, I'm Deb Albertson.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll.